Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I was in the mood to talk about something a little bit more problematic. And the great thing about the internet is that if you look for something terrible, you'll find something terrible. It doesn't take too long. And something that's really easy to find is people who hate women. Or more specifically, people who hate feminists. Women who believe in equality? Disgusting. Now don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are a lot of people that claim to be feminists but are really just terrible and they hate men and they don't want equality. But when I look at these anti-feminist posts on Instagram and stuff, they're not targeting those specific feminists. Or feminists. They're targeting women that are just living their life, shaming them for their lifestyle, or directly fighting against equality. It's not all men either, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of women that are sexist, we got pick-me girls and not like other girls. So today we're gonna find some anti-feminist Instagram posts and cry together. Because are they kind of sad? Yes. But are they also hilariously ridiculous? Yes. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So this is a photo of somebody holding up a sign that says, "What causes rape? Drinking, short skirts, flirting, rapists." And this person posted it and said, "Not all rapists are men. Not all men are rapists. Feminists think that men are out to hurt them. They're wrong. We all believe the same, doesn't matter what gender. Follow if you hate today's feminists." With hashtags like MGTOW, men's rights, boy power, red-pilled, and misogyny. Sir, you shouldn't get offended when people talk bad about rapists. That's not a good look, seriously. But seriously, that's not even what the sign said. Yes, of course, not all men are rapists, and not all rapists are men. Duh. You don't have to be a man to be a rapist. You just have to be a terrible person with no respect for anybody else's body. We all know that. This sign was trying to make a point. For example, they said that short skirts don't cause rape. Short skirts, which are typically worn by women, not always, but typically, have kind of been used to blame rape victims. They'll say, "Oh, well, you were asking for it," or "What were you wearing?" These are things that sexual assault victims hear all the time. And it's not okay. It doesn't matter if you are dressed like a nun or if you're wearing a short skirt and a low-cut top. Nobody has a right to put their hands on you without your consent. What would compel you to think that it's okay to just put your hands on a stranger without their consent because of the outfit that they're wearing? It doesn't make any sense to me. That's why they said that. They're making a point. And notice how they didn't say that men cause rape. They said that rapists cause rape. Nobody is saying that all men are rapists or that rapists are only men. I don't know where you're getting that. This post is just really stupid. I don't know what point they're trying to make. I don't get it. So here's a picture of a family at the table eating a meal, and the caption says that feminists will be eating grass from their neighbor because they're vegan. Do people just not know what veganism is? I feel like people don't know what veganism is. People think that vegan meals are some rare obscure dishes that are only made for the very elite and wealthy. Bro, Oreos are literally vegan. Vegan food is a lot of the food you eat on a regular basis, even if you're not vegan. Besides your fruit and veggies and grains and all that jazz. You've also got things like Ritz crackers or Wheat Thins or Hershey syrup or Oreos, or a lot of frostings are vegan too. When I went vegan, I realized that it wasn't that hard because a lot of the foods that I already ate, the non-perishable foods, were already vegan. And you can make a lot of really nice recipes with, plant-based foods. And of course, you've got your vegan burgers, your vegan milks, your vegan ice cream, your vegan anything, basically. Just go to your local grocery store. They can make literally anything vegan. We eat food. We just don't eat animal corpses or drink breast milk from cows. And why is that a bad thing? Oh, you think the animals don't deserve to be abused and murdered for your taste buds? Freaking radical. People call veganism extreme all the time. I'm bro, if anything, isn't murdering an animal so that you can enjoy a Big Mac for 5 minutes a bit extreme? Especially when there's literally plenty of other foods you could eat. Sounds pretty extreme to me. Okay, so I was searching up the hashtag submissive wife because not all submissive wives are like this. If you just have a very submissive nature and you just serving your family or your husband or being a generally submissive person, that's completely fine as long as you're not shaming anybody else for their lifestyle. But a lot of the submissive wives that have Instagram posts about being a submissive wife tend to shame other women for not being that way. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So I was searching up the hashtag submissive wife and to see if I could find them any anti-feminist posts. And I thought it was really funny because I searched up submissive W to spell wife, and I saw one that said submissive wife, happy life, and then right under it said submissive whore. I just love how when you search up the hashtag submissive wife, some of these posts are women who are just oh my gosh, I love embracing traditional femininity and being a submissive wife. And then there are other posts that are pin me down and tie me up, daddy. I think it's really funny that they're in like entirely different communities, but they both use the same hashtag, and it's just really funny to look at. But I respect that. Anyways, back to your regularly scheduled program. This is what your enemies hate. And the caption is, this is what they took away from us. Yeah, as a feminist, there's nothing that I hate more than just seeing families eating dinner together. How dare you spend time with your spouse and children? How dare you get along and love each other? Oh what, you love your family? Get that crap out of here. Not in my liberal household. But seriously, trust me, I love this. Functional families that spend time together and love each other are great. In fact, when I'm at my dad's house, my dad, my sister, and I, we all eat meals together and hang out all the time. And guess what? My dad is a liberal. I know, shocking. When I'm at my mom's house, I usually eat meals in my room. And my mom and stepdad argue all the time. And guess what? They're conservatives. So shocking, isn't it? I thought that only liberal families hated each other's guts. That's what feminists want, right? They want to tear apart family and hate everybody. Like seriously, nobody hates this. And nobody took this away from you. You can still eat with your family. No feminist is going to harass you for eating dinner with your spouse and children, you absolute idiot. Okay, but like, why?
Why?
Like, don't get me wrong, I understand wanting to embrace traditional femininity. If you like embracing gender roles and that's just how you are, then that's completely fine, you know? You do you, as long as you're happy. But what I don't understand is, like, getting mad at other people for not doing that. Like, to be anti-feminist? So you basically think that since you want to be, like, traditionally feminine, that all women should be traditionally feminine. Honey, feminism is about choice. We're not saying that you can't be a homemaker with a nuclear family or whatever you want. We're not saying that at all. We're saying that it's okay to stay at home and raise your children and be a stay-at-home mom, and it's also okay to get a career or not have children if you don't want to. Or you could do both. You could get a career and have children. We literally don't care. As long as you're happy and it works for you and your family, do whatever you want. Why do these people think that other women getting careers and just doing what they want in life is an attack on their lifestyle? Like, girl, no one's thinking about you that much. Nobody cares what you're doing. Seriously, I don't know how to get that more through your head. At 11 p.m., I stood in front of the sink full of dishes after having cooked a meal that was likely all too elaborate, and I did not want to do those dishes. I was so tired, and then there was Andre. I glared over at him as he lay on the couch watching a soccer game on his phone, while I was in the kitchen, exhausted as could be, washing the dishes that he used after I made the entire meal just for him. The longer I stood there, the more I felt the resentment building up. I tried with everything in me not to care what Andre was doing. Tending to reason with myself, I thought, solely, they're just the dishes. It's the easiest thing in the world. But Andre should help with the dishes. Why doesn't he get off his stupid phone and help me? Does he even care that it's late and that I'm just as tired as he is? Does he not care about all I do for him? Does he not see me struggling? I wanted to make it obvious. I wanted to help, huffing, puffing, slamming. And what did Andre do? He lay down on the couch, pulled the blanket over him, and closed his eyes. Tears of anger, frustration, and self-pity poured down my face. Oh my gosh. What the heck? Why is she being so dramatic about this? Girl, literally just ask him for help. You don't need to throw a fit because your husband's sitting on the couch. He probably doesn't even know that you need help. Just say, hey, if you're not busy, do you mind like helping me with the dishes or something? I'm sure he won't mind. You don't need to be so immature about it. When it was all said and done, I realized my pride had kept me from asking Andre for help. He told me, you didn't have to do the dishes. I know you want the house to be perfect, but you could have done them in the morning. You could have spent time with me, but instead you got all worked up over nothing. I needed that lesson. I was battling pride, laziness, and unrealistic expectations all at once. I also struggled with taking my own responsibility for my home. I was to take on the majority of the housework, but I didn't feel like my home was my domain. I didn't understand that I had the power to turn our home into a haven, and that doing the dishes in a timely manner was part of that. I slowly fell in love with my role as a homemaker after guidance from my husband and a change of attitude from my Holy Spirit. I made a lot of mistakes my first year as a homemaker, and I will continue to do as the years go on and learn from them. Okay, so she actually did, like, cry about it. Like, literally shed tears. And of course her husband was like, what the heck, just do them in the morning, it's not that big of a deal. But why are some people so bad at communication? Just literally ask for help or do it later. Like, why did she get mad at him when he was just sitting on the couch, probably not even knowing that she needed help? Like, I don't get it. I thought it was kind of a dramatic post. Oh look, it's feminism shooting femininity in the back of the head. I know, right? Women used to be such amazing feminine creatures. Then we had to go and give them equal rights. What a shame. But seriously, did somebody tell you that being like a homemaker or being feminine was bad? Or do you just want to be oppressed this badly? Again, feminism is about choice. You can be a stay-at-home mom or a keeper of the home or whatever you call it. Or you can have a career if you want. I don't care. I literally don't give a crap what you do unless you're on Instagram making stupid posts praying to be oppressed because you're a stay-at-home mom. Like, why do you want to be oppressed so badly? Why do you want to think that the world's against you? Okay, so these are some really hilarious comments, kind of sad, but hilarious, that I found under a post about, bringing America back to the good old days. Happier now than I ever was as an atheist, feminist, liberal slut. Thanks for his grace and guidance. Hey, I'm glad that you're, happy now and whatever, but, let's not call people sluts for their sexual lives. As long as it's all consensual and safe, what's the problem? Don't slut shame, even if you're slut shaming yourself. It's not okay. Don't do that. That's toxic. Please don't. Based. Amen. Glad to be hearing that. Also delivered me from 8 years spent as a lesbian. People can heal and change. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I was not expecting that. That's right, folks. I was an atheist, feminist, liberal slut. And I was even a sexually active lesbian. The horror. Praise the Lord. I have seen so many people speak out against healing from homosexuality and so on. What most don't seem to realize is there is a deeper pain that is causing much of what we see. I'm glad to hear that you are doing so much better in life. Fight the good fight, sister. Yep. Trauma is what makes you gay. My parents got divorced when I was a kid. Is that why I'm gay? Genuine question, because that would be really funny if my mom, who was, homophobic my entire life until recently. Well, I mean, she's, mildly homophobic now, but, I'll take what I can get. But if I could tell her that I'm gay because she got a divorce, I would love to be able to tell her that. That would be so funny. But also, what about gay animals, then? Because homosexuality has been seen in, 450 different species across the world. Did their parents also get a divorce? It all makes sense now. Thank you so much. I feel enlightened. It's not called being a slave. It's called respecting your man. Why do I always cringe when I hear somebody, call their husband or their boyfriend their man? There's nothing wrong with it, it just sounds weird to me. Same goes for when somebody calls their, girlfriend or wife their woman. I don't know, it just sounds weird to me, I don't know. But you're right, respecting your spouse is not called being a slave. I don't think anybody has ever seen a woman, treat her husband nicely and then been like, wow, what a slave. I would never compare being a submissive wife to slavery. Not unless you were literally being, held against your will or something. Again, I don't care what you do as long as you're happy and everything's consensual. And you're not shaming anybody else for what they choose to do. I don't really understand this post. A husband's discipline is an act of love. Ew, no! Why did I stumble upon this? I mean, this is definitely, where he'd be. That's something he would say, but, If you don't know what it's from, that's from the blog Biblical Gender Roles. If you haven't heard of the blog Biblical Gender Roles, you can go look it up, but keep a trash can nearby. In case you need to, It's talking about wife spanking again. Dude, why are you so obsessed with the idea of spanking your wife? If it's a fetish, just admit it and move on. It's fine. But please don't write several articles telling men that it's their God-given right to hit their wife as a form of discipline. Ew. Nobody has the right to put their hands on you no matter what. Don't hit people. The amount of times I've had to say don't hit people on this channel is just mind-blowing. So that's all the nonsense we're going to be reacting to today. Thank you all for coming along for the ride. I know it was painful, but I'm proud of you for sticking around. So be kind to each other, don't spank your wife without her permission, and Tradwives, stop ruining the cottagecore aesthetic. Seriously. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Stay safe, y'all.